everyone. I'm Joy Hogue. I'm the Executive Director of Families as Allies. And every time there's a fifth Wednesday, which I think is 4 times a year, I'm not sure, we take a few minutes to do a live update with you. So thanks for all of you for joining us. And we're just going to take a minute for everyone to introduce themselves, and we'll go around starting with Nikki and let y'all say who you are. And then if you want to share something that you think is that's most important to you or special to you that you want to update everyone on, just go ahead. So I'll turn it to you, Nikki, and then we'll do a circle.
Okay, I'm Nikki Flippins, and I do a variety of things to support families as a part of being a part of Families as Allies. Something that's very important to me is the connection between families, so that we have an opportunity to really come together to support one another in the best way possible. Um, and Other than that, I guess, Joy, it's okay. I add a personal note. I'm getting married in 17 days, and so that's my big announcement, I guess.
And you can go next, Karina. We're going around the circle. Just whatever you can introduce yourselves and then share just whatever you want to share with people about what's important to you right now.
Okay, my name is Karina Price. I'm a family partner with Families as Allies. What's most important to me is parent peer support because it's parents supporting other parents.
Okay, Katie.
Hey, my name is Katie Parker. I am currently getting my master's in social work and doing my internship here as Families as Allies. It's really been special to talk to families on the phone and hear their questions and be able to support them and let them know that they're right. So it's been a great opportunity interning here.
Okay, Jackie.
Hi, I'm Jacqueline Taylor. I'm the office manager for Families as Allies. And what's been really important for me has been the MAP teams. It's where different organizations come together for that county and help find resources and able to help families in need.
All right, thanks, you guys. And you guys brought up several things: parent peer support and just being there for each other, MAP teams, and then the issues that families call about, which often are about school and education. So we just wanted to follow up on a few of those things. Now, last week, we did parent peer support training, and it is happening again May 16th through 20th. And that's an opportunity for any family member, any parent or caregiver. And a caregiver is someone who's raising a child other than that parent. So a grandparent, foster parent, to learn how to provide parent to parent support to other parents in any system. It could be mental health, child welfare, juvenile justice, and help them understand their rights and navigate systems and be there for them. So that is a huge part of what we do. And I don't know, do any of y'all want to comment either about the training last week or just the training in general, or what you think is important about parent peer support?
I
Oh,
wasn't
and
present last week for the most recent parent peer support, but I always I think it's a very good opportunity for families, like you said, whether they are already connected to a public or private agency in that role, or if they just have an interest in getting the information for a possible employment later, or just for their knowledge. I think it's so very important. It is a lot of information, but it basically gives you a good foundation to all the systems that families typically come in contact with, from education to juvenile justice, social services, and then just insight into how to engage and work with other professionals. So I think anybody who um, wants to have that opportunity to gain that information should definitely seek out that opportunity.
absolutely. And I think what's up there, and this is important too, this is some additional training for people who are already doing parent peer support that's being offered through Fredla. And I don't know, Todd, if you can pull up, it's in May 16th through 20th. There's parent peer support training. I hope it's on there. Um, that we do, there it is, for the Mississippi Department of Mental Health. And sometimes people think it's that they can only come to that training if they want to do parent peer support training through the Department of Mental Health. And definitely that's a huge part of it. And we're so grateful to the Department of Mental Health for all they do and the opportunities we have through them. So that's one group that can come. But if you are just interested in learning more about how to do parent peer support, you are welcome to come. But you go through the same process. And I think on that same site on our website, it gives you the link for the application, which is through the Department of Mental Health. But if you're interested in doing that kind of work with us, with Families as Allies, with in the juvenile justice system, we actually have some funds through one of our grants where we can pay you to go through the training if you want to learn to do that work in juvenile justice. We're looking at how to do it in child welfare. We have some opportunities in early childhood. So please consider doing that. And the training's free. And I just think you learn all kinds of good things. So do y'all have any other thoughts about parent peer support or things we should make sure people know?
And parent peer support is where you bring your life shared experiences to the table and you're able to support other families, because a lot of times families don't know which way to go, don't think that there's an outlet, and maybe think no one really understands. But that's where parent peer supporter come in at, to be that added support to that family member, to let them know, I truly understand what you're going through and we're going to walk through this together.
Absolutely. That no one will ever feel alone, because they can feel so alone when something is going wrong with your child and not knowing what to do. And then just as far as parents sometimes feeling all alone and dealing with things, we have a couple support things that happen every month that we wanted to make sure that we let y'all know about. And I don't know if any of y'all want to comment on just the regular any drop-in support, and then bring your IEP and other school questions. I may put you on the spot, Karina, because I know a lot of times you do those. So if Karina, who I've already put on the spot, or anybody else wants to share about those.
The drop-in support, I really like that, because parents are able to drop in and you don't have to stay on the whole entire time. Whatever you want to talk about, is no titles. We just flow freely and allow you to address, talk about your concerns, and we address those concerns.
And that's a week from tomorrow at noon. And you don't have to register, just drop in. And then do you want to talk about the drop-in IEP, which should be, I think, 2 weeks from that.
The drop-in IEP is for parents, professionals, anyone. If you have any questions about school issues, about IEPs, how to file a formal complaint, the IEP process, that's the moment for you to drop in and ask those questions, and we'll be on the call waiting to answer those questions to the best of our abilities. If we don't have the answer, we promise you we will get back to you with the answer.
And so that's the 21st at noon. And do y'all want to just talk about, because this time of year we get a lot of calls, and I know this is true for Mississippi Parent Training Information Center too, which is another place families can call to get support. Just some of the calls that we've been getting about school, because there might be some issues that might relate to other families. And I'll call names if y'all don't volunteer. I know you were talking about some of the things you've learned from families and they've shared. Katie, have you seen any patterns in the calls or things that have been coming up?
Yes, ma'am. A lot of things have been IEP related, whether it be the annual IEP or wanting to request a meeting and being a little nervous because it's the end of the school year, wondering if they could still work on their child's IEP or the things going on at school. And so we've been able to support a lot of parents to request evaluations and to request those IEP meetings, regardless of what time of the year it is, because they're still able to receive those services and get that support for their child.
That sounds good. Because those deadlines don't change. Sometimes people think, the school year's ended, so that I think it's 60 days they have to do the evaluation, that starts over the next year. But it doesn't matter. Those timelines are the same throughout the year. So, and then you're talking about requesting an evaluation. Just to remind people, we do have sample letters you can use if that's helpful on our website. And Jackie, I think you were talking about some of the things you'd seen or families had shared calling. Yes.
Yes. So some families have called. They've been needing help with the schools trying to remove the child or putting them in alternative school, or planning for the next year, saying we'll just keep your child homebound for the rest of this year, and we'll plan it for next year as well.
So, do y'all have any thoughts about things families can do if they're getting that kind of feedback from the school and that's not what they want, or they don't think that's what's appropriate for their child? Any thoughts?
If the child has an IEP, you can call an IEP meeting to reevaluate that and make adjustments as needed. The parent or caregiver is part of the IEP team, and it's important that they're able to express what their needs for their child are. You can also do letter of appropriate services or a formal state complaint as well.
Those are all really good suggestions. Yeah, and people don't, sometimes parents don't know. I mean, they're just as much a part of the IEP team as anybody else, and they can call as many IEP meetings as they want until things get resolved. And you're right, there's those letter requesting appropriate services if their child's not getting what they want. And then formal state complaints. And it sounded like another thing that was coming up in some of those calls you were talking about is, a child should always be placed, it's the law, in the least restrictive environment. So that's the environment that's the least restrictive, where they are most likely to still be with all their peers and be able to learn. And it's unlikely that that would be homebound. And especially if they're making that decision for next year, just looking at some of those things. Any other thoughts on all that? Or anything else for families to keep in mind?
I think it was important what Jackie said about making sure parents understand about multiple meetings, and especially at this time of the year when you have some of the things that I've seen in the past that come up as concerns for families, are if kids are transitioning from maybe one level of education to another, like if they're leaving elementary to go to middle school, or leaving middle school to go to high school, that sometimes the school districts do try to make a transition where they have someone present from that next level present at the annual IEP for the next year. But sometimes it doesn't quite work out. So maybe there's no one there, but I think that is so important for families to know that they do have the right to request an additional IEP whenever they do feel like that there are concerns that need to be addressed or information they need to share. So just keep in mind that it would be ideal if you do have a child in a situation like that, if you can have individuals from both schools present. However, if you can't, you are able to, once that child starts school in the fall, to then have another IEP meeting with those individuals in the new setting. So it's not like it's one or done deal. And because they weren't able to be present in the spring, that you can't then have an IEP meeting to actually make sure everybody's on the same page.
It's a really good point. Same thing like if you forget something.
Right.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Were you going to say something, Karina?
And also, as a parent, you're the best advocate for your child. Nobody knows your child better than you. So you are a part of the team. You're not outside the team. You're not around the team. You actually are part of the team. And don't let nobody make you feel like or think that you're not.
Absolutely. And it's so easy to feel like when you're in a school meeting, and y'all know I've said this a million times, I always say that I got this job because in my interview I talked about I know what it's like to sit in the parking lot and cry and not want to go into a school meeting because it's so scary. And I used to help families do that before I had my own child. But you might feel like, well, what do I know? And I don't know all those words they're saying. Well, first of all, they should explain them to you. But you know something in that room nobody else knows as well as you do. You're absolutely right, Karina. You know your child, and nobody else knows your child the way you do and knows what might work for them and what kind of things are appropriate for them. So don't ever forget that. You're so right. Any other thoughts on school IEPs while we're talking about it? There's so much stuff that comes up. And you
Yeah,
mentioned, oh, go ahead, Karina. I'm sorry.
yeah, it's a lot that comes up because sometimes parents feel like that they can only have 2 meetings a year. But if what you have in place on your IEP is not working, you can always go back to the table and revise the IEP anytime.
Right. It's not set in stone. Absolutely. Yep. Anything else on that? And y'all are always welcome to call our office, 601-355-0915, with questions or any way we can support you. And then we've got a lot of resources about education. I think they were up there a minute ago on our website. And then, yes, that's the page. Thank you so much. And then Jackie talked about the MAP teams and how helpful they could be. So let's go back to that because I'm not sure families always have the information about what a MAP team is and when it's a good time to contact one. So does anybody want to talk about that?
Well, there's several different reasons why families may want to seek out assistance from their local MAP team. One of the ones that I think is most important is when you definitely feel like that you're lacking resources, and you oftentimes we have families and they feel like they've called around or gone around to so many different agencies and they're confused about what they offer, or where they can actually get the help and support they need. And if you're able to come together with that with the MAP team in your local area, which should be made up of representatives from all of the systems in that area, and the services that they provide, then you get a unique opportunity to kind of share what your needs are for your child and your family at a table where you have services from throughout the community. So you may have a representative from education, juvenile justice, early childhood. You may even have some faith-based individuals that are present. So you're able to then share what your concerns are and what you want to see happen for your family and your child. And then those different systems that are present, individuals that are there representing those systems can then share what they have to offer from those agencies and how they may best be able to help you meet that goal. And I really support families, encourage them anytime they feel like they are in need of just finding a clear direction to go in, to seek out their local MAP team and see what type of services and supports are there and available for them.
Any other thoughts on what MAP teams are for?
And also on the MAP team, just think about you got all the resources at one table, and you never know what resources there and what you may need, and then you may also get information where you can go back and share with somebody else.
And one thing that's really important to keep in mind about the MAP teams is they're actually part of state law. And it's what the law says is that these MAP teams, and that stands for Making a Plan Teams, and they're in each of the mental health regions and oftentimes in each county, that they're supposed to serve as the single point of entry. So that's what people are talking about, the one place you can go, the one-stop shop for any child who has a serious emotional disturbance, or it's suspected that they do, and is involved with more than one system. So if have mental health needs, they also have challenges at school, that type of thing, or if they're involved in the juvenile justice system. And that's supposed to be the one place you can go and say, help me bring all this together. And it's for those children who meet that criteria, who are at risk for coming out of their home. So if you've reached the point where it's like, I just don't know what to do, my child's going to end up in the hospital, they're going to end up in detention, maybe they're going to go to a psychiatric residential treatment facility, I've got to have some help. That's when you call your MAP team. And on that resource page on our website, under mental health resources or behavioral health resources, there's the children's directory for the State Department of Mental Health. You can click on that. And I think starting at about page 10 are all the MAP teams in in that document. And so sometimes families don't know that, I think it's page 10, but I'm not sure, that families can refer themselves to the MAP team. So you can call whoever it says is the MAP team coordinator in your area and tell them that you would like to get some help from the MAP team. And so they are there to help you, and they are for those families whose children are at risk for coming out of the home and need the help, are involved with more than one system, and they need that support for their child to stay in their home. I know I was going to go over a couple other things that are coming up on the calendar, but can y'all think of any other things we were going to remind people of that we forgot? I know we'll remember something when we sign off, but can anybody think of anything right now? Or did we tell our people everything we know?
I think we covered all of it, Joy, if I can recall.
Yeah, I'm going down my list. I think we did. I was just going to go over things that are coming up on the calendar.
Okay.
If y'all think of anything, jump in. Okay, we have a webinar tomorrow, and it's about the Interagency Coordinating Council for Children and Youth, and that's a body that oversees those MAP teams and helps make sure that that system of care law we have works in our state. So please join us for that. We've talked about our drop-in support next Thursday, and then on the 21st, drop-in IEP. Another thing that's coming up for those of you all, and please go to our website, the events, because there's a bunch of other things that I'm not going to mention. But on Monday, for those of you who are following the lawsuit in the mental health system, the monitor in that system, Dr. Hogan, has submitted his first report, and the judge is going to have a status conference on that on Monday. And the last time I looked, the Zoom link for that had not been published, but we'll check again today. So the public can listen in by, I think it's like a phone Zoom link or something. You listen in by phone. You can't comment, but you can listen to what the judge and the attorneys, I guess they'll be speaking in the special, and the monitor say. So that's Monday, I think. Yeah, it's at 1:30. And we'll add the Zoom link once it's available, and it may be available. And then we also wanted to remind everyone we have our weekly newsletter, The Ally. And again, you can go to our website and under news, click on the subscribe to the Ally link, and please sign up for that. And you'll get that every week. It's got, we hope, a lot of helpful information. And the only other thing, I noticed that the Division of Medicaid had updated its policies and submitted it to the Secretary of State about psychiatric residential treatment facilities. I know we gave some public comments on that, just about ways to have MAP teams more involved and wrap around, and just to make sure families have what they need. I don't know if that got incorporated or not, but we'll check and we'll put that in our newsletter. But I do want to publicly thank the Division of Medicaid because they were very open during that conversation. And those are all the things I can think of. Happy wedding, Nikki. We are all so excited for you.
Thank you.
And then Henry's not on here with us today because this is his birthday week and birthday month. And he didn't take the whole month off, but he's taking a few days off because he always has a big week for his birthday. And I think lots of family and friends. So we wish him happy birthday. And can y'all think of any other things we're celebrating? We're just celebrating life every day. And we want to thank every one of you who joined us and who is part of us, all of you who partner with us, and especially every family who is part of us. I'm not usually the one to answer the phone when families call, but I'm always so touched when I am, that you are willing to share your journey and your precious child with us, and your story. We absolutely want to be here for you. Everything Karina was saying about one parent being there for another parent, That's true individually. That's true for our organization. We hate that you're facing anything, but we definitely want to be there and be part of your squad. We are there for you. And thanks to everyone else who works with us too. Can y'all think of anything else before we go? Okay. And thank you all for being here today. I know we had things have been a little, I haven't been in the office much, and everybody was very flexible with working what I've been doing the past few days and helping me. So I appreciate that. Okay. So I guess that's goodbye. All right. Thanks to everyone who joined us. Okay. Bye, everyone. It's